New York native John Costas does not remember who he was just a few years ago. That's because his life was turned upside down, saved by a study using a blue pill, otherwise known as magic mushroom.
So I would drink a lot. I would have maybe a handle of alcohol in a sitting, no problem. And it was a vicious cycle because then I would be more depressed or more anxious. And then an immediate release would be drinking more alcohol. I really had nothing to lose going into this trial except maybe my life.
John suffered from alcohol use disorder since he was 16 years old. After a decade of searching for answers, John happened upon a trial looking for participants to take a chance on psilocybin, a naturally occurring psychedelic compound from a mushroom. Dr. Bogenschutz is the director at the NYU Langone Center for Psychedelic Medicine.
Why use these psilocybins, particularly in the alcohol use disorder?
Psilocybin have a number of interesting properties that give them potential to have therapeutic effects in treatment of addictions and a number of other psychiatric disorders. They're best known for their immediate psychoactive effects. They're called hallucinogens, but they don't generally cause hallucinogens per se so much as profound changes in how people experience the world.
John was the first patient to finish the trial, which made headlines at the time of completion last year. The study paired measured doses of psilocybin with psychotherapy. The results showed that over 80% of who were given the psychedelic treatment drastically reduced drinking.
Talk to me about the psilocybin experience you had.
So I had 3 psilocybin sessions. And I think the first or the second session saw this glass liquor bottle in the middle of the desert. And then all of a sudden, the glass bottle disintegrated into the sand. Another time I had a death experience, saw myself from a bird's eye view lying on the couch, and I saw the 2 doctors sitting there. This isn't like a new chapter. This is like a new book.
A year later, John flipped the script entirely, completely sober and now dedicating his life to supporting psychedelic research.
This has made a lasting impression to you, not just with battling alcohol use disorder, but you're currently working on spreading this word. So talk to me about that.
I wouldn't be doing this if it were anything short of saving my life. I dedicated my whole life now to trying to make this research and this treatment accessible and affordable for everyone that could benefit from it.
John founded Apollo Pact, a first ever patient-driven organization advocating for federal funding for psychedelic-assisted therapy. After listening to patients' stories, former Congresswoman Mimi Walters pioneered an historic first, starting a congressional caucus targeting psychedelic-assisted therapy.
There's been a big stigma with psychedelics for so many decades that the government has not wanted to fund these type of trials, and all these trials are being funded for the most part privately. And I had served in Congress, and John said, do you think we could get a bipartisan caucus going to help educate the members of Congress to this treatment?
In March, Representative Lou Correa and General Jack Bergman relaunched the Bipartisan Caucus, hoping that this research could help treat PTSD in veterans.
We had a presentation where we brought in many veterans that actually had gone through this process. All of them claimed tremendous success from going through this treatment. The sad statement to me was that despite apparent success of this treatment, they all had to go to Mexico to get treated.
The next step as we advance the research and get the findings now is, again, the idea of assisted therapies. We now have to train and enable that therapist to understand the different reactions the different people might have and the different opportunities for that therapist's message to be heard by that, in our case, veteran.
Besides alcoholism, this NYU team says psilocybin-assisted therapy could be harnessed in fighting other drug addictions.
We're going to be launching a pilot study for psilocybin in treatment of opioid use disorder as well.
For NBC New York, I'm Linda Gaudino.